Sup guys, King here, bringing you another anime review. So I just finished doing Ren Zero, and yeah, I feel very lightheaded right now. Wow, I should have pointed out that I'm a very lightweight when it comes to drinking, and wow, my head's kind of spinning a bit. That's why I'm drinking tea now, like to calm myself down a bit. I suck at drinking, and I recommend. Is any kids watching? You do not drink until you get permission from your parents. Wow. Shit. So yeah, today's review will be on, well, tonight's review, because what's the time? See, I'm losing my mind already. Orange. Do I have an orange ball here? Maybe fruit? No, to represent that? No. Okay, so yeah, the the anime Orange. So this was the second anime I took the time to watch after I'd finished watching Ren Zero, and again, this took me a course of 2 days. Technically, it should have taken me 1 day, but at that point, I kind of got tired, and I was like, you know, I'm done. I'll leave the 5 episodes for the next day. And man, what a very good anime. Like, I kind of feel hurt now because I want to compare this to Red Zero, and I've had to pick one. I would say that this anime was more fulfilling because it was basically a full complete story. I mean, there are no cliffhangers here. This story has a beginning, middle, and end, and everything's wrapped up in a nice little bundle. Maybe a few things are left out that make you question and wonder what else is going to happen next. But overall, it left at a decent ending. But yeah, Orange Man. First of all, I'm just gonna have to point out the animation and artwork in this was beautiful. The facial expressions, the voice acting, and just the overall landscapes and the way the characters looked and behaved, it was great. I mean, there were probably 1 or 2 episodes where it looked very, very bad. I think this was either episode 9 or 10 when the characters are having some sort of, not a race, but I think they're in their swimsuits or something, and it just looks very bad. Like, you could see the artwork just looks fucking terrible here, and the animation just I mean, there's one where Suo's character, it looks like his neck is going all the way there. It just looks so awfully bad. The arms, the way some of the arms are twisted. This was just an episode I took notice of, and I was like, wow, this was an anime that had consistent good animation, and suddenly, boom, it's bad. But then it picks up again in the next episode, and it's better. So nothing to worry about there. It's just one of those instances where you get that 1 or 2 bad episodes in terms of artwork and that. But you know, that doesn't change the fact that the story and the characters are still very well written. So yeah, Orange. What is it about? Basically, it's about a group of 5 friends. Nano, orange-colored girl, her friend Soho, and 2 other girlfriends, Tomato, I think, and Azu, and the other male friend, Hagita. Now, these guys, we see them in the future, they're living their lives. Soho and Nano have gotten married, etc., etc. And they're picking up this time capsule out, and they're reading these letters from their past selves, and a letter from their friend Kakura, who's died. And they see that they realize he committed suicide. So at this point, these guys are full of regret, and they're very upset, and they wish that they could have changed the past in order to save him. And at this point, the story cuts back to the past with Nano, and she ends up getting a letter from a future self that basically details a lot of the important events that transpired and in what order she should change these events in order to make sure that Kakuru will end up falling in love with her and feeling like he's needed, and not to turn into this depressing wreck that will cause him to end up throwing his life away. So yeah, the overall story is this girl wanting to save a friend, and once again, like always, there's always a twist to these storylines, and the twist, it's actually a pretty obvious twist because it's foreshadowed. It's foreshadowed like hell, because when it comes to the character interactions of Hagita and Soho especially, there are moments where where the character just feels like he's doing things a little bit too well that work to Nano's favor in terms of her and Kakuru getting this one good day. And obviously the big twist being that, yeah, he's gotten a letter from his future self as well. And then obviously the second twist of the story is the same as the first twist, in that everyone else has gotten this same letter. So in the end, the story is pretty much about these 5 friends working together to save Kakuru's life, and to get Nano and him together as a couple, at least, so he can be happy to know that there's someone there for him. But in the end, it's a story about these 5 becoming his close friends and making sure that he feels loved, because the story is pretty much about regret and suicide. And the regret comes from Kokoro because his mother ended up killing herself during his first day at this new school where he meets these guys. So yeah, he ends up feeling tons of regret because he decides to go out with these guys instead and not go and help his mom with something. So that follows him throughout the entire story. And this guy, you feel, it's very depressing. It's a very depressing show actually, but it's a very humane and real-like show. I mean, it's rare to see a story like this being done, but that's the great thing about anime in particular. Like the Japanese, they just know how to hit you in the feels, and this hits you in the feels because it's so relatable. I mean, how many people in the world are there that suffer from this feeling of regret and wanting to take their own lives? I mean, I can tell you right now, the day I die, I think, you know, I'm gonna have tons of regrets. I've got lots of regrets right now, okay? I'm gonna die knowing I've done a lot of shit that I wish I hadn't, and I could have changed the past, and I'm gonna have to live with that regret. Am I so sad that I want to take my own life? I'm not gonna answer that. But needless to say, yeah, I've had suicidal thoughts. I think a lot of people have had suicidal thoughts, but people who take it a bit too far and they want to throw their lives away, that's the fucked up part, really. But that's the sad truth of the world we live in. I mean, sometimes you know people and you can't help them, and you wish you'd known that maybe you could have, and that's kind of what this anime reflects. It's about these characters who basically screwed up. They didn't realize that their friend needed help, and now they kind of get this second chance to maybe save him. And for us, we get this whole alternative world in the past where they try to do that, where these characters of the past try to do that now, and sometimes their plans succeed, sometimes they fail. But by the end of the series, I don't want to spoil it what happens, because again, there's another twist in there that's very unexpected actually regarding Kakuru's mom. And it was at that point where I was like, she was kind of being a selfish bitch, but you kind of get the twist later on, and it's like, oh, well, I guess she wasn't being selfish perhaps. Not going to spoil what that is, but whether he lives or dies, that's for you to watch and find out. But yeah, in just 13 episodes, they really managed to craft a well-coherent story with very good characters. I mean, all of these characters have their own quips and personalities, and it does kind of feel cliche, but they feel like real people in the end of the day. If you feel like people, like friends you would have when you were in school, high school. Me in particular, like I kind of think back to my college and uni days. Like those are the friends I loved a lot. School-wise, not so much, but yeah. When it comes to characters, Kakeru is pretty much the depressing kind. He is very depressing, and that's understandable because he's got suicidal tendencies. And how do you deal with someone that's like that? How do you deal with someone that wants to take their own lives? And then you've got Nano, right, the main heroine, trying to help him through this, and she is such a dense person. Like really, like when it comes to dense people, she is one of the most dense characters I've ever seen in a show. Like there are multiple moments where something obviously is happening and she cannot put two and two together, and it's like, come on, use that brain of yours. Obviously at the end she does realize it, and she tries her best, and it's thanks to her friends that she manages to accomplish those goals, to overcome those densities, as it were. In terms of best male characters, Suho steals the show. I mean, this is a dude who in the future ends up marrying Nano, right? So he ends up, you know, he ends up wanting to change his own past. He ends up wanting to change his own past, and he comes to accept that, and he decides to basically forgo the happiness that he's going to have with her in favor of her having a future with Kankuru, so he can end up saving this friend of his. And that's a very thoughtful, caring character. And because, like, how many people do you know like that will throw their own happiness away in favor of someone else's, right? Knowing what the future holds. Like, that's incredible, and I think that's a great character arc to drive through with him in particular. And then obviously you got Hagita and Azuo and Tomoto, and really those three, especially Tomoto, I think. Is it Tomoto? The tough chick, basically. She's just kind of there. She doesn't really do much. She gives a few hints of advice, but she doesn't really do much. And Azu is kind of the funny annoying girl character, and she's kind of got this thing with Hagita. And Hagita as well, he's meant to be sort of this nerd, like the weak ass nerd, and he brings the laughs in. He's kind of the character with humor, but by the end of the series, by the end of the show, he actually ends up being the smarter one, because he ends up doing something that has great repercussions in terms of helping Kankuru. So yeah, plus to him. But yeah, when it comes, yeah, like I said, Orange, good, amazing, decent characters. Not the greatest characters in the world, but like decent, very good characters in terms of how real and humane they are. The story itself is great in terms of what it's trying to say and do. The themes of, like I said, regret, suicide, love, and friendship are very powerful. Like, it will hit you. I mean, if you don't cry several times watching some of these episodes, then I really pity you. I mean, some of the stuff they discuss in this is very, very extreme and very, very real. And at times it really hurts and it hits you here. So, you know, good for them for doing that. Good for them for just going at it. In terms of conclusions, I feel like it wrapped up nicely enough. Now, obviously, the big thing that people are going to complain about is the twist. Is the twist that explains the method for how these future selves end up sending the letters to the past. And to be honest, I didn't have a problem with it. I saw a lot of reviews of other people discussing this, having a problem with it. And to be honest, for me, it's just a gimmick. It's something there to illustrate of how they got this done. Like, in the end of the day, that's not the main focus. The time travel in this is not the main focus. What's the main focus here is the characters and their attempts to help save this friend of theirs. So, in the end of the day, you need to forgo that thought of yours that, oh, I want to know how this worked, and then you end up getting an answer. It's like, is that it? And it's like, yeah, that's it. That's the quickest explanation it could give. And to be honest, it's not even a stupid ass explanation. Is it sort of dumb? Yeah. Is it the worst thing in the world? No. So, you know, it doesn't make or break the show, to be honest. It's just something that's there and something that gives you an answer to if you wanted one. But yeah, my overall thoughts, good series, definitely worth watching. I hear there's a movie for this that's meant to be coming out, I think this month actually. So I don't know about that. It's meant to be based in the future, and I think before the event, so that kick off in the past. So I don't know really how that works, but I'll be looking forward to seeing that when I can, because I did fall in love with these characters. I did fall in love with the story, and as I said, the art and animation in this is very superb and very beautiful to look at. I mean, it keeps you gripped, hooked, and like it's just fun. Like, you see a lot of animes that got this weird kind of style, and it just never really works. Like, it just kind of puts you off. But here, it's like you want to see more of it. You want to see more of that. Like, you just end up falling in love with it, the way the tints and the colors are. So very, very artistically, it's a very artistic cinematography that's done right. I think that's the key word here. I'm trying to sound smart here, and it's not coming across as smart, so forgive me for that. But yeah, I'm just trying to say how worth watching this anime is. It's a very emotional, very uplifting anime, I think. Depressing at times, yes, but again, that's because of the human element that I think they did very right in. And as for the gimmick, the big twist in terms of how all of this came to happen, again, it's a quick explanation, and it's not something you're going to lose sleep over. So, you know, don't think too hard about it. I mean, I've seen worse explanations given for a plot or a gimmick in other series and shows. So don't lose your shits over it. It's nothing to complain about. Oh, it's a black hole and parallel worlds. And it's a concept that's discussed early on. So it kind of comes full circle with that. But yeah, it's not that terrible. In the end of the day, this is a show about the characters. So that's what you need to keep your mind on and try to enjoy, instead of, oh, that's the big twist, that's how they did it, screw it, I'm done. No, you're not done. And that's not something you should throw the show in a bin for just because of that. So overall, yeah, very good anime, and I'm actually looking forward to buying this when it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray. So yeah, definitely worth watching, definitely worth buying, I'd say. And I think there's a manga for this as well, so yeah, definitely worth reading, I guess, maybe just to see how much they adapted and took out or put in. So yeah, overall, yeah, definitely one of the better ones I've seen this year, and I'd probably put this above Re:Zero slightly, just because, like I said, this was an anime that had a beginning, middle, and end. Everything is answered, everything is fulfilled, and we're getting a movie as well, so we're kind of getting a sequel, prequel, whatever, for this, to sort of end it on a good, decent note. But yeah, definitely give it a watch. Definitely give it a watch. Overall, as always, like and subscribe, and I shall see you when I shall see you. Take care and bye.